I started meditating, I was filled with anxieties, filled with fears, kind of a depression and anger. And I took this anger out on my first wife, and after 2 weeks of meditation, she comes to me and she says, "What's going on?" And I was quiet for a moment because it could have been any number of things she might have been referring to. But I finally said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "This anger, where did it go?" And I didn't even realize it had lifted. Now, these negative things like anger and depression and sorrow, they're beautiful things in a story, but they're like a poison to the filmmaker. They're a poison to the painter. They're poison to creativity. They're like a vice grip. If you are super depressed, you can't hardly get out of bed, let alone think ideas, have that creativity flowing. So it's money in the bank to get that beautiful consciousness growing, which is flowing creativity, the ability to catch ideas at a deeper level. Intuition grows. This field is a field of pure knowingness. You dive in there, you sort of just know how to go. You know how to solve solutions. It's like an ocean of solutions. And you can just feel this thing growing. But the ultimate thing for me is the enjoyment of the doing, the enjoyment of life grows huge. I love making films now more than ever before.
I'm a great supporter of Transcendental Meditation. I've been using it for almost 40 years now. And I think it is a great tool for anyone to have and to be able to utilize as a tool for stress. And stress, of course, comes with almost every business, but especially considering the stress that our men and women of the armed forces would go through, the anxieties of going either in or coming from combat, and stress syndromes of various types. I think it's a great tool. I think there's enough studies out there that show that Transcendental Meditation, or TM as we all call it, is something that could benefit everybody.
So for the last few years I've been practicing meditation, trying, and it's difficult to describe the effect it's had on my life. I can only mention maybe a few words: calm, clarity, a balance, and at times a recognition. And it's made a difference.
TM is like you have a cell phone and someone gives you the charger. And you go, "Oh, this is, now I can keep using this thing and it will work all the time." So the other way I'll describe it to you is, and I can see from the faces who does it and who doesn't do it, by the way. The other way I will describe TM to you is, do you know how 3 days a year you get a good night's sleep? And you wake up and feel like, oh, this is how I should feel all the time. But you can't get more than 3 good nights' sleeps a year because of the circumstances of your life. Well, TM, you can have that every day. That every day you're just, the bar on the cell phone is all the way up. You leave the house and the charger is full. You know that tremendous feeling of power when your phone is fully charged? And somebody calls and you go, "I want to hear every detail of this story. I am loaded with juice." That's what TM is. Anything you want to ask me about TM? I do it, and here's the other thing that's crazy, okay? Here's a crazy TM thing. Well, look, I'm only getting 5 hours sleep as it is. I'm not going to get up earlier than that to do TM. It works. It's better. You'll feel better sleeping 4.5 hours and doing that 20, because that's deeper than anything you're getting. When you're sleeping, look at your bed when you get out of it. What does it look like? It looks like a war went on in there. And that's not restful. All you did was stop. And you took the fight from your day into the bed. But you're fighting all day, you're fighting all night. You need a break, folks. You need a break. That's what TM is.
I meditate before I hosted the Oscars. I meditate before I go on stage. I meditate in the morning and lunchtime when I'm on a film set. And it's like it resets. I'm not saying I'm never frightened anymore or that I don't have stress, but I like the analogy of a glass of water. When you first pour it, it's cloudy. When you're stressed, that's what your mind is like. It's kind of cloudy. And after I meditate, all that sinks to the bottom and the water is clear and the energy is finer and the decisions you make are more authentic. And I think you're more economical with your energy, with your time in every way. You're more able to listen to other people. And as an actor, that's all you've got. Your only tools you really have is being present, being clear, and listening. So it helped me in every way. I mean, immeasurably. I'm a way different person from when I began meditation.
Wow.
Well, completely different.
So I met Bobby Roth, wanted to learn about Transcendental Meditation due to my dissatisfaction with some of the pleasures that I talked about. Drugs, the fame, the celebrity, the consumerism, the wealth, all of these things that pledge happiness but deliver so little of substance. And in learning about Transcendental Meditation, I found very quickly access to a deeper state of happiness, which is very profound and absolute. See, like as I said, I can only talk about my personal experiences. What it felt to me was like the dissolution of my idea of myself. Like I felt like separateness evaporated. I felt this tremendous sense of oneness. I find it, I'm quite an erratic thinker, quite an adrenalized person. And but through meditation, I felt this sort of beautiful serenity and selfless connection. You know, my sort of tendency towards selfishness, I felt that kind of exposed as a superficial and pointless perspective to have. I felt a very relaxed sense of oneness. I felt love, you know, sort of love for myself, but also love for everybody else, a constant sense of absolute love between all of us. This, for me, is a beautiful thing. My recovery is contingent upon a spiritual component, and whilst I know the foundation likes to necessarily focus on the practical and pragmatic aspect of this wonderful process, for me, the spiritual element has been valuable.
I am elated and truly, truly, truly excited to be present and fully connected to you at this important moment in your journey. I want to thank the trustees, the administrators, the faculty of MUM for creating an institution worthy of Maharishi's ideals of education, as well as enabling the students through Transcendental Meditation and ancient Vedic knowledge to slack off twice a day for an hour and a half.
The best thing about TM is that it's such a personal thing. It doesn't cost anything, it's free, and you can do it anywhere, at any time.
What are you doing here in New York, and what are your thoughts on the now?
The idea of what you're doing, of putting this into schools, I think is a fabulous thing, because I think it's all very well to talk about it, but the thing is, when you actually put it in the mainstream, I think that's very important. I think that's the foot in the door, because then people can then say, in Detroit, where the David Lynch Foundation has put the program into schools, the results are these. And I think this is what people need. They don't need high-minded talk so much as results. And so for you to be able to say the kids love it, the kids in the West Bank love it, the kids in Brazil love it, and you're actually getting results. To me, it's like a seed that it's for sure if you take a great seed, an acorn, and you don't put it in the ground, it's pretty guaranteed you won't get an oak tree. But if you put it in the ground, there's a very good chance you'll get an oak tree. And I think that seems to me what you're doing. So that's what I love about what we're involved in now. And so that's why I was so happy to do the concert. It's very inspiring.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends.
Over 40 years ago, we ended up in Rishikesh, and that's where we met. Well, it wasn't where we met, it's where we hung out with Maharishi. We'd met him a few months before in Wales. And since then, sometimes a lot and sometimes a little, I have meditated. And, it's a gift he gave me, was my mantra. That's something I could use and something no one could take away. So it's one of the few things I was ever given that means that much to me.
One of the things I did in Next Chapter, I went to visit a town called TM Town, and it's in Fairfield, Iowa. Would you imagine that in Fairfield, Iowa, it's a town population about 9,500, a third of the town meditates. So there's a traffic jam in Fairfield, Iowa at 5:30 with mothers and doctors and dentists and lawyers and engineers and clerks and soccer moms all headed to the Dome in Fairfield, Iowa, people who look just like you and me, and they're all there meditating. And in order to prepare to doing that show, I brought the Transcendental Meditationists into Harpo Studios to teach me and my team how to meditate. So we started meditating. 7 of us, 7 led to 70, led to 270, led to now everybody in the company meditates. 9 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the afternoon, no matter what's going on, we stop, we meditate. And that way of being still with ourselves, coming back to the center, and recognizing that something is more important than you, it's more important than the work you're doing, it's more important, brings a kind of energy and an intensity of energy, an intention that we've never had before. And you can't imagine what's happened in the company. People who used to have migraines don't, people are sleeping better, people have better relationships, people interact with other people better. It's been fantastic. So the one thing I want to continue to do is to center myself every day and make that a practice for myself, because I am 1,000% better when I do that. 1,000% better when I take myself back to something bigger than myself.
Anyway, so I learned how to meditate. I've tried to meditate before, and the breathing and all the other stuff that when I did yoga, and I was always opening my eye, and it was like a minute later, and I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? This is just impossible, focusing on the breathing. And so when I learned about TM, which I'd heard about it, and I'd heard so many people, I was very impressed by the people that I learned that they did TM, and I was like, well, they're interesting people, and there must be something to it, and I thought I'll try this, even though I'm not good at meditating. And something about TM, something about having that mantra, it is the only time I have that stillness. It's the only way I've ever been able to sit long enough that I open my eyes and I'm sad that it's 20 minutes later. I actually love, and I never had that feeling before, late at night alone at an ATM machine, but that was not safe. But it does, it gives me this peaceful feeling, and I just love it so much, and I talk about it as much as I can on the show without sounding like I'm preaching about it. But I am here really I can't say enough good things about it. And David Lynch, of course, is a genius in many ways, and what a wonderful man to start this foundation to help people, and you'll learn about that tonight. And all the benefits that you can achieve from just sitting still and just going within. It just really is a beautiful experience. So I am happy to be a part of this community, and I hope to continue doing this.
I am a big proponent of meditation, and for radio, I feel it added tremendous creativity, and having that morning and afternoon. In fact, to this day, after I do the radio show, my head is pounding so bad from the headphones and the loud noise and 5 hours of headphones and talking. I mean, it's exhausting.
Right.
I go and I meditate, and I walk out and I have the whole rest of my day. And I'm a new person.
I know.
I don't think I could really live without it.
Meditating, which I've been doing it like 10 years now. So that's a big part of my life and everything, you know, twice a day. It's important for children. I think it's cool that the whole foundation is taking a stand in teaching kids what could help so many, not just them, but their parents or, you know, all their families, everybody. With David Lynch doing all of that, I think it's incredible, amazing what he's doing.
Transcendental meditation changed my whole lifestyle in a year. And one big change happened 4 months ago when I was realized that I had to quit smoking. It was something that I've been carrying with me through all my modeling career because I thought that smoking would keep me thin. And I started to realize that, you know, all these challenges, these things were good things. So stop smoking is something that made me very proud now to be a non-smoker and to take care of myself. Now I wake up, and before I used to wake up and the only thing I could think about was how I needed a coffee to get out of bed and how I needed to watch the news to, you know, and I was that thing, you know, already starting the day with that stress and the worries and everything was a problem. And now I wake up always in a light mood. And the only thing, you know, I go straight and I do my meditation, and it makes me feel, it's funny, like when I meditate, it's like I feel this excitement, like, what is the day gonna be like today? It's almost like, you know, how people say live every day of your life like if it was the last day. That's the feeling I get, like, today is a day and all these things that I could do today. And it's like an excitement feeling, but then at the same time it's like calming. And now more and more, you know, it's been a year now, I really start to feel this blissful feeling. And it comes and you're like, wow. You know, it's beautiful.